Forex trading. Two words that strike fear in niggas' wallets. Alright, so for the longest time, I did not do this video, but I feel like I should because I think it helps for other people who are on the fence. They probably have like one of their friends, you know, wannabe influencer trying to tell them like, hey man, if you jump on here, you're gonna make all this money and you're gonna be able to travel everywhere and you know, you're never gonna lose, you're always gonna make money. It's all about manifestation, bro. If you believe in it, it's gonna happen, bro. It's gonna happen. And I felt like I seen that a lot back whenever I was getting into it, and I could never tell whether or not it was legit. And I'm kind of here to give you guys my perspective and let you guys be the judge of it. All right, so this all kind of started back in like 2020, where I had seen a lot of people on social media talking about Forex trading and posting, you know, their graphs and being in these group of people with their graphs out saying like, oh yeah, we're gonna, you know, we're making all this money. We're staying in all these big ass mansions and we're flying all over the world, all of that. And of course, a nigga like myself, I wanted to be a part of it. Who wouldn't? So I decided to jump in and talk to one of my friends who was into it. And she asked me about, you know, how I felt. And I said, you know, I do kind of want to look into it because, I mean, I'm always down to make a little extra cash. And I remember when we talked, she was making it seem like it was like the greatest thing in the world, and how, you know, when it comes to Forex, it's a cut above the rest. And she introduced me to one of her friends who had been doing it for, I think, a couple of months at that point. Which I will say this too, one of the biggest things I realized when I was doing this was that nobody I talked to the entire time I was in it had been doing Forex for longer than a year. A lot of them were basically saying stuff like, you know, I've been doing this since October and, you know, now I don't have to go nowhere. I don't have to work no normal job. I can just sit at home and chill and play the PS4. I can go out and travel if I want to. Basically trying to sell me a fever dream that ultimately, if I didn't do exactly what they said and it didn't work out for me, would never happen. One big thing that they were telling me is that it's, you know, you don't really have to worry about money. Money is never really an issue. You know what I'm saying? It's super easy to jump in. So I remember after I told them I was down for it, they basically told me, all right, so you're going to go on this website and you're going to pay around $240 for one of the packages. Huh? If I'm not mistaken, didn't you tell me I didn't have to put money in this? But whatever, you know, sometimes you have to give money to get money. So I said, all right, cool, whatever, I did it. And they told me, all right, so once you, like, now that you have it, I'm gonna teach you how to go through everything. And once a month to stay in it, you have to pay $150. Basically, this is like your gate into stock exchanges that nobody else can really get into. Which at that point I was like, okay, cool, whatever. If I have to do this much to be able to do this, then it has to be legit. You know, why am I putting all this money in here? And you know, it's not. And one thing I did realize coming out of it is that when it comes to the trading aspect, it is. So if you're here to just figure out whether or not the trading aspect is legit, the trading aspect is legit. I think what I could tell people is if you're going to do it, you want to have the money to do it. You know, because like I was trading with like about $150, $200, and while I was winning some money and losing some money, it was never like a ton of money, which a lot of the times the less money you have, the less they're going to tell you to put in. And I remember being told, like, you know, you want to put in 500 to like 1,000, and that's actually true. Yeah, you kind of want to put in a lot of money if you want to get a decent amount back. If you're just gonna put in like $100, $200, you're only really gonna be getting cents to maybe a couple of dollars when you're trading like that. But that's not really what I've kind of learned when I was a part of it. A lot of what I've learned is that fantasy that they kind of pushed was not from you trading, it was from the other aspects around Forex trading. I kind of noticed this is what everybody was kind of pushing, was this way of bringing in people and the way that it was pushed. So how they kind of did it was, if you brought in 3 people under your name, then the Forex, I don't know if it's like the company or what, they would pay you, I think, like $150 a month for as long as they're in there. So if one of them leaves after a month, you're not really going to get that 150. But if they're in there for that full month, you get paid 150 for every month that they stay doing Forex trading. Right? So what they would tell you to do is you would bring those people in, and then those people can bring people in and you can bring people in. And because they came in under you, they would also count towards your people. And the more people you brought in, the more money that you would make. And I remember listening to this because while I was very gullible, very naive. I wasn't dumb to some things. And that one was one of those things where I was like, and I asked them like, yo, not gonna hold you, because I already put my money in, don't get me wrong, but that kind of sounds like a pyramid scheme. And they were like, no, it's not a pyramid scheme, it's on Forbes, it's legit, you don't gotta worry about it, bro, you're gonna be just like us, you're gonna make money just like us. And the longer I stayed in there, the longer I realized the money that they were pushing only came from if you were able to get people to join. And I also noticed that a lot of the people who I was seeing posting about going on all these trips and going to stay in these big mansions, one, they were flying Spirit. Unless they already had money, in which case they were riding in normal planes. But a lot of the people that I was talking to, they were flying Spirit. You know what I'm saying? And whenever they would get to these like houses, these mansions that they would be pushing, these were mansions owned by people who were higher up on that pyramid. People who had brought in at this point easily around a couple hundred people. And by that point, you're making a ton of money. You know what I'm saying? You can buy mansions and stuff like that. And I remember when I was talking to them about it more, one guy was basically saying like, you want to be able to grind. Like, yeah, like on one end, I'm not doing anything, but on the other end, I'm always constantly calling people. You have to be able to wake up at 3 a.m. to call people. It's a grind. And it's like, okay, if it's a grind, it's a grind. But why are you telling me before I put my money in? Oh, it's not a grind. It's super easy. And you can get your money this way. And you can just stay at home and play PS4 all day and just vibe and go wherever you want to. And you're always going to have free time. When in reality, that's not true. A lot of the times with those people, the higher up you get, the more busy it gets, the more you have to try to keep people who are on lower ends of your group. You want to keep them in there. You want to be able to give them a reason to not pull out and to keep paying like that $150 or whatever a month. And the more I kept looking at it, the more I was like, yo, this is weird. The more I was like, yo, this is perplexing. Like, because everything you're telling me is contradictory. Every time I ask you a question, you tell me a different answer than what I was told when I started. And the more I kept doing it, the more I was realizing like, yeah, I'm jumping into these trades and like I am trading and I am making some money. But what you're pushing and what's actually going on are two different things. You're telling me, oh yeah, you can trade and make this money, but we and you both know after seeing everything that we've seen and everything that you've told me, the money isn't coming from the trading, especially when you don't put in a lot of money. The money is coming from bringing people in and getting those people to bring people in and getting those people to bring people in. And one of the things that I've realized about pyramid schemes, and everybody knows this if you know what a pyramid scheme is, it's only as stable as the people on the bottom, the people who are willing to stay. Because what happens is there might be a point where, say you have a group of like 50 people. The bottom people in the 50, if they were to leave, the people on top of them aren't making their money. So then they can't keep this up. So then they leave. And then the people on top of them don't make their money. So then they leave. And then the people on top of them who bought these big ass houses can't maintain them. So now they got to sell the houses and then they leave. And then you end up having this big fucking like domino effect where everybody ends up losing. And I seen that shit. And by the time I realized that that was the case, I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm gonna jump out. And I remember there was a lot of people basically calling me a quitter and telling me that, you are a poser and that you're never gonna make it. Shit like that happens. And I mean, that's one of the reasons why I kind of backed up and was just kind of like, I don't regret it now. Because at a time I did think, like looking back, I was like, maybe I should have stayed. Maybe I was like overreacting, but no, I wasn't. Those people were saying those things and were trying to guilt trip me into staying. Because what happens is you have people who are above you, like my friend, or who I thought was my friend, who knew that I was about to leave, was basically saying like, bro, like if you leave, I won't be able to make the money that I was making monthly because now I got to find a whole new person, man. And I thought we were friends. I thought you'd be willing to, I thought you were a ride or die. Keep in mind, we didn't talk for months leading up to this. And even then, while I was in Forex, we still didn't really talk like that. So now I'm getting gaslighted and I'm getting told that like, what I do is going to affect everybody, which it does, but you're trying to make it really seem like it's my fault that you put yourself in this position when it was really your fault. And I'm saying like not everybody's like that, but a lot of the people I talked to through there was like that. And this is just a cautionary tale to people who are trying to get into Forex. And yeah, like if you just want to trade, like yeah, that it works. Like there are professional traders who you can jump in with in like Zoom calls and you can basically follow what they're doing. And if they win, you win. If they lose, you lose. But I mean, there's people there that, help you with learning how to trade. And if that's what you want to great. But what I'm saying is, for the people who are trying to get rich quick, or the people who are hearing stuff from like their friends, possibly their family, their acquaintances, some random person who you met at a store who felt like it might be a good time for them to get somebody else in there. If they're telling you anything other than just trading, or if they are telling you that the trading, no matter how much money you put in, is gonna get you a bunch of money, they are capped. I've lived through it. You can see through me. It's not worth it. Yeah. Will I get hit on this video? Probably. There's probably going to be people who, hopefully, if this video blows up, that are going to see this and go like, bro, what the fuck? But, you know, I feel like it needs to be out there, because I wish there was a video like this out there for me whenever I was going into it, because if I had known, I would have never jumped in. Yeah, I mean, hopefully this helped out somebody. If you know people who are debating or trying to figure out whether or not they want to jump in there, feel free to send this video to them. I'm Michael Watu, aka Watu Kami. Thank you guys for watching with me, and I will see you guys later. Peace.